This is the third lecture in our Canopy Analysis and Design course. In the previous lecture, we began our discussion on using ASCE 7 to determine the wind load for our canopy. In this lecture, we build on that foundation. Let's summarize what we have learned so far. We can determine the wind design pressure, P, in terms of the velocity pressure, Q. Velocity pressure, Q, is defined using four coefficients: basic wind speed, ground elevation factor, topographic factor, and exposure coefficient. In addition to Q, the wind design pressure, P, depends on three factors: the gust effect, the structure's shape and orientation, and its symmetry relative to the wind direction. We covered these factors in Lecture 2. In this lecture, we determine the exposure coefficient. Think of this as the wind's experience as it approaches the structure. The exposure coefficient tweaks the velocity pressure based on what surrounds the structure, whether it's wide open or surrounded by obstacles. Why does this matter? Because wind behaves differently depending on the terrain. In a flat, open area with nothing in its way, the wind can really pick up speed and hit the structure with more force. But in a city or a densely built-up area, buildings and trees slow the wind down or redirect it, reducing its impact. This is what we call surface roughness, how the ground and its obstacles affect the wind's flow, and it's these surface roughness characteristics that help us determine just how exposed or sheltered the structure is. ASCE 7-22 provides three surface roughness categories: B, C, and D. Let's go through each one. Surface roughness category B includes urban and suburban areas with numerous closely spaced obstructions, such as buildings, trees, and other structures. The terrain is generally rough, disrupting wind flow and reducing wind speeds at ground level. Here is an example of a rough ground surface in an urban setting. This illustration shows a rough ground surface in a suburban setting. This industrial park is another example of Category B surface roughness. This wooded area also creates a rough surface, disrupting wind flow at ground level near the building, so we place it in Category B. Category C, open terrain. This category covers open terrain with scattered obstructions, such as open countryside or grasslands with few trees or buildings. Wind speeds are higher than in urban areas because there are fewer obstacles to disrupt the wind flow. Category D. This category includes flat, unobstructed areas, such as mudflats, salt flats, and open water. Wind speeds are highest in this category due to the lack of obstructions, allowing the wind to flow freely. Now that we've covered the surface roughness categories, let's see how we use them to determine the exposure category for our structure. ASCE 722 defines three exposure categories: B, C, and D, which share the same labels as the surface roughness categories. But here's the key difference. Surface roughness describes the physical terrain, while exposure categories tell us how that terrain affects wind loads on the structure. Let's start with exposure category B. Your structure falls into this category if it meets one of two conditions. First, if it's 9.1 meters tall or shorter, and the ground surface roughness in the wind direction extends more than 457 meters as Category B. Or, if the structure is taller than 9.1 meters, the ground surface roughness in the wind direction must be Category B for either 20 times the structure's height or 792 meters, whichever is greater. What about exposure Category D? For this, one of two things needs to be true. Either the terrain has surface roughness Category D for at least 1,524 meters in the wind direction, or the terrain near the structure is Category B or C for no more than 183 meters, or 20 times the structure's height, whichever is greater, and beyond that, the roughness extends as Category D for at least another 1,524 meters. If the terrain doesn't fit the criteria for Category B or D, then the structure defaults to Exposure Category C. It's like the middle ground. When the conditions for B or D aren't met, C is where we land. Now that we've walked through how to determine the exposure category, let's apply this to our canopy at the bus terminal. The terrain around the site is mostly flat, with just a few obstructions. Looking at the site image, we can rule out surface roughness category B. It requires densely packed buildings or trees, and that's not what we have here. We can also rule out category D since the site isn't completely flat and unobstructed like a mudflat or open water. Instead, the site's surface roughness best fits category C with some vegetation and scattered obstacles. Now, let's determine the exposure category based on this surface roughness. If the surface roughness were category B, we would check specific conditions to classify the site as exposure category B. But since our site is category C, those conditions don't apply. What about exposure category D? There are two conditions to consider. The first doesn't apply because our surface roughness isn't category D. The second condition requires that, within 183 meters of the canopy, or 20 times its height, which is 160 meters, the greater of the two is 183 meters. The surface roughness must be category B or C, and beyond that, it must extend as category D for at least 1,524 meters. But in our case, the category C roughness extends well beyond 183 meters, so this condition doesn't apply either. Since the site doesn't meet the criteria for exposure category B or D, it defaults to exposure category C. Now that we have established the exposure category, we can use it to determine the velocity pressure exposure coefficient, Kz. The value of Kz depends on both the exposure category and the height at which the wind pressure is being calculated. ASCE 7 provides two ways to determine Kz. We can either refer to Table 26.10-1, which gives Kz values for different heights and exposure categories, or we can calculate it using the equation provided in the manual. Let's use the equation. Here, Z is the height at which we are calculating the wind pressure. In this case, the canopy height of 8 meters. Since we determined that our site falls under exposure category C, we use the corresponding exposure C values for Zg and alpha. Zg, the height of the atmospheric boundary layer, is 750 meters, and alpha, the gust speed constant, is 9.8. Plugging these values into the formula, we calculate Kz to be 0.95. With Kz in hand, we're ready to calculate the velocity pressure using equation 26.10-1. Q is 1,179 newtons per square meter. We will continue our discussion in the next lecture.